It may sound like a strange question, a cold or even a callous one, but are you ready for the genocide in Rafah? Despite the blatant genocide which results from attacking the world's most densely concentrated area of civilians, 1.5 million of them, with more than 500,000 displaced children, crammed into 10 cities, makeshift shelters, and are suffering from starvation, food, water, medicine, and other essentials. Despite the hollow, empty words and warnings from the world over, the little it is worth. Despite Hamas' acceptance of the ceasefire proposal, which would have led to the release of the captives, none of this has stopped the Zionists from continuing their massacre and genocide against the innocent civilians of Rafah, who described the Zionist onslaught as intense bombardment of airstrikes, rockets, artillery, shelling, tank shelling, drones, all firing at us. Never in my life, I am 69 years old, have I ever seen bombardment like this, and I have witnessed several wars. I have never seen a war like this one. The genocidal intent was always clear. The goal is to destroy Gaza. Reason why the Zionists rejected the truce with Hamas, ignored all the warnings, and have gone into Rafah. Yet the so-called human rights, democracy, freedom-loving Western leaders see how hypocritical slogans these are, and hypocritical and impotent so-called Muslim rulers watch silently. Most of them are either complicit, continue to aid and abet the tyrant Zionists committing genocide, or try to divert the agenda to discuss other topics. Brothers and sisters, who will respond to Rafah? Will we not take a stance to stand for justice and stand alongside Rafah? I didn't ever think the day would come when I say this, but God bless American students and guide them, say Ameen. We have seen the United States universities, which have been the epicenter of student-led movements standing up for Rafah, Gaza and justice, which have now gone global viral. Canada, Germany, Holland, France, Spain, Finland, Denmark, all demanding an end to Zionist genocide. Students in the UK universities, Leeds, Newcastle, Cambridge, Oxford, have all seen camps go up across their lawns and campuses. Despite authorities and administrations unleashing intense crackdowns on these demonstrations, so much for the West's so-called free speech. US authorities alone have arrested more than 2,000 students over the past weeks. Hundreds have been arrested across Europe. Despite all of this, the students remain firm in their resolve. It is this kind of activism that has continued throughout history and has proven to be almost right all the time. And it is this type of political activism we also need to engage in. Were the students who protested and demonstrated against segregation and racism in the 1920s and 30s in the United States wrong? No. Were the students who demonstrated and protested in the 1960s against the war in Vietnam wrong? No. What about the ones who protested against apartheid in South Africa in the 1980s wrong? No. Likewise, today's encampments calling for an end to genocide in Gaza are also on the right side of history. Student movements have always challenged colonialism, militarism, and injustice, and rightly so. And they have been on the side of the truth. Brothers and sisters, but what is our duty? Surely the students do not have a monopoly on standing for justice and representing all of us. It is all of our duty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this ummah as the best nation. Why? كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. You are the best nation because you command the good and you forbid the evil. Now is the time to rise and command the good and forbid the evil by standing for Rafah and standing for justice. What is the duty of the Muslim youth? The Muslim youth, whether in the United States of America, whether in the United Kingdom, whether in Pakistan, the Arab world, around the world, where are you? And where are your voices, your camps, your sit-ins, your activism? Where are the Muslim students, the Muslim associations, the Islamic Societies, the mosques, the businesses, the professionals, and what are we doing? Where are our sit-ins, our camps, our activism, our mobilization? Is it not time to step up a gear, change of tactic in our next step in activism? Isn't it time to get ready for the genocide in Rafah? Isn't it time to say enough is enough? Rafah, we promise we will not watch in silence. The fact of the matter is, you are either with the Zionists or you are either on the side of Palestine, Rafah, Gaza. And if you are on the side of Palestine, if you are on the side of Rafah, if you are on the side of Gaza, you must speak out. Genocide is not acceptable. Silence is complicity and not an option. This genocide will continue until we can build up enough opinion, global national movements, trends, and pressure upon the authorities to say no to genocide. Stop genocide now. The authorities fear your voices. They fear your activism. They fear your presence. They fear you taking a stance for justice and everything you are doing. Hence their clampdowns around the world and attempts to divert the agenda to other topics. But do not let them stop you. We will not stop. We will stand for justice. We will stand for Rafah. What can we do? Oh Muslim youth, where are our Muslim youth in the UK, the United States of America, the Muslim youth of Pakistan, the Muslim youth of the Arab world and beyond? Where are the ones who are free-spirited, ready to take on the world? Where is your zeal, your passion, your energy and activism for your brothers and sisters of Rafah? Muslim youth need to be at the forefront of activism, raising their voices for Rafah, against apartheid, against genocide, being part of global movements, national movements like BDS, activism, whether it's sit-ins, camps, rallies, demos, soapboxes. Muslim youth must awaken globally and be a voice for Rafah and lead in the activism. All Muslim students, it is the student movements that have always challenged colonialism, militarism and injustice historically the world over, from the segregation and racism in the US to Vietnam to South Africa apartheid to standing up for Palestine, and rightly so, who have always been on the side of the truth. Muslim students must unite together and take a more pronounced active stance. As the US, European university presidents have shown us, and as the long history of student activism tells us, students are and must be at the forefront of activism. You need to be brave and lead on campus activism and make your voices heard. And do not allow the authorities to sidetrack, intimidate or entrap you. Muslim professionals, isn't it time for professionals to roll up their sleeves, get their suits and shirts a little dirty for Rafah in the city, in the wharf, in other capitals and cities around the UK or elsewhere? Isn't it time for Barclays, Google, Amazon and the likes, their employees to take a conscientious stance with their employers? Isn't it time for people of conscience working for Barclays, Starbucks, McDonald's and other corporates to walk out in solidarity with Rafah? Isn't it time for peaceful activism? Sit-ins, camps in the city, outside corporates, in the wharf, in other cities and capitals around the world. It is high time professionals step up their activism against the corporates supporting genocide. Oh Imams, isn't it time for you to discharge your duties? Inform and make your people aware and active in standing for justice? Isn't it time you mobilize your congregations to peaceful, meaningful activism now? When will you address Rafah? When will you address apartheid? When will you address colonial wars in your khutbahs and make your people aware and productive and active? Oh Masaajids, oh the houses of Allah, isn't it time for our Masaajids to call out their Jummah congregations to march, to demonstrate in the city centers of their towns, on their high streets, outside the corridors of power, outside the corporates, and stage stand-ins, tents, camps, until Western governments stop aiding and abetting the genocide? How are you using your Jummah khutbahs and raising awareness and taking a stance for Rafah? Oh people of conscience, oh humanity, oh individuals, everyone, every single individual must up their game, their activism. We need to be even more vociferous in our stance against genocide and stand shoulder to shoulder with our brothers and sisters in Rafah. Fly, carry the Palestinian flag for symbolism. Wear the kafiyah, wear the t-shirt, carry it online. Make Palestine, Rafah, dominate in all aspects of life. And if after Gaza and now Rafah, you're still not moved and you still remain silent, then I am sorry to be blunt. Get some nachos or churros and sit in your armchair and watch the genocide unfold on your 60-inch plasma screen in your homes and mosques. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aid all those who speak the truth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give victory to Rafah and Gaza. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us all firm. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.